Thank you, President Lifton, and thank you for this great, very gracious welcome and kind introduction. I am so happy to be here for the Pearl Meister Greengard Prize Selection Committee's choice of Dr. Maria Jasin. And thank you very much for inviting me to participate in this presentation. It's a real honor to celebrate, Dr. Jasin, your work as a woman of science and your discoveries that frankly resonate beyond authorship. As you heard from Dr. Lifton, I'm an architect. For me, it's personal. It's not just what I do, but who I am. Architecture is my way of navigating the world and contributing to society. Architecture, like science, is a field that has traditionally been male-dominated. But to be a woman in these professions is not in and of itself a goal, and to a degree, neither is it a distinction. The question is how our identity, our passion for discovery, might inform and reinforce the work we do. I've been asked to reflect on my experience. Start at the beginning. I didn't know much about architecture growing up, but what was I doing? I was doing math problems for fun. I built furniture with my father in our basement woodshop. And yes, I bled radiators. When I told my father I decided to study architecture in college, he was thrilled. One problem. He thought architect was a boy word. Waiter, waitress. Actor, actress. Architectress. No. So he smiled and called me girl architect. And that term endearment shaped my professional path. I decided if I were going to be an architect, I would go big, go strong. No girly stuff for me. I began my career in the offices of I.M. Pei, designing skyscrapers, courthouses, and large-scale infrastructure projects. I wanted to be taken seriously, which meant being in the most male-dominated sector of the male-dominated profession. But it was never enough for me. I wanted to not just be there, but I wanted more. I wanted to lead, not just as a girl architect, but as an architect. After about a decade in these realms, everything changed when I was assigned to the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington. My role included talking to survivors, ghetto fighters, partisans. I listened to their stories. I traveled to the concentration camps. I started to design, not with program, but with narrative. I wanted to design to promote healing and to remember. Every architectural element, its materiality and form, contributed to metaphoric storytelling. When the museum opened, I recognized that I could not go back to the commercial world, to buildings that are mute. So I left the Pei office in search of meaning. Fortuitously, Governor Ann Richards was planning a women's history museum in Dallas. Her team read an article about me in, and how perfect is this, Working Woman magazine. So they hired me and later explained that there actually were no other women architects. And then in a tour de force of politics and architecture and education and all this Texas grit, we built the first ever women's museum. And we built it with an entirely female-led team, design, construction, historic preservation. And at the opening, Gloria Gaynor came and sang I Will Survive. And I laughed to myself. I thought, okay, I can finally embrace my girl perspective. It's working while fulfilling my ideas about meaning and just making it for the community. Now, not long after, I found myself in a dinner conversation about a bridge with then President Torsten Wiesel. And armed with experience that was required to identify, let's say, an unexpected structural concept, I was able to cut costs in half. But what Dr. Wiesel and I fought for was the community. We created a structural link between home and work that was safe, but the bridge became more than that. It became the underpinning of the idea of Rockefeller's life-science connection. So now, 2 decades later, my practice is exclusively one of community education and places that forge social bonding. I focus on public libraries, welcome centers, collaborations with museums to create content-driven learning experiences. But this year, work in the architectural realm has been ambushed by misinformation. The reemergence of the neoclassical might seem superficial or even comical, but it personifies a return not to any real past, but to an idealized past of emperors and peasants. Along with social anachronisms like ballrooms, we're seeing narrower definitions of cultural expression and outright censorship. As a society, we understand that there is inequity. There are racial, economic, and other forms of disparity due to historic privilege. How we seize this moment to adjust course is what defines us. Consistent ownership of the problem requires allocating resources to open pathways for education. We need to help those who lack opportunity. So what does that mean at this moment in time? Both the omissions and the attempts to rectify the situation. Recent politics censor the very words we need to communicate about our work in science and the arts. Those words on the administration's list include gender, community equity, cultural heritage, and now it gets juicy. Female, females, feminism, and to the point of our celebration today, the word woman. We expect our leaders to have a basic level of understanding. Scientists make transgenic mice, not transgender mice. Antibody diversity is not a social challenge. New executive orders not only limit artistic and architectural creativity, but they also increase cost, preventing our abilities to address current and changing needs. And they inhibit our freedom to create places and help underserved communities. We expect our leaders to understand that as a nation, our history is beautiful, even with its complexity. Only by owning that history and not creating myths or rewriting it will we be able to move forward. The number of women in science since Dr. Jasin began her career is indeed higher, but not dramatically so. What has emerged is a different and equal troubling issue. Women in the field are not consistently recognized as frequently as their male peers. The late Paul Greengard and Ursula von Rydingsvard saw, rightly, that we have to make a change and not wait for it. I've had the privilege of knowing the benefactors of this prize, a remarkable couple whose work and contributions transcend professional boundaries. Paul Greengard was a humanist, and he was proud of the changes in science that his mother was not able to enjoy. Ursula expresses her hopes for the future, creating provocative and beautiful sculptures. They ask us as women to be proud of how far we have come, but they expect us to harness our power to ensure continued advancement. Let us magnify Dr. Jasin's impact by celebrating her most deserved Pearl Meister Greengard Prize. And on behalf of the Distinguished Selection Committee and all of us here today, we congratulate you on this award. Thank you.